Okay, good morning everyone. Welcome to our webinar. This webinar is Douglas County Count Me Green. It's part of our Businesses Preventing Pollution webinar series. This webinar series has had several webinars beginning in the summer of 2013 and running through the end of November 2013. So all of these webinars are archived on our webpage at www.ci.superior.wi.us/business, and they are also archived on our YouTube page. So you can check any of the previous ones out and see what new ones you'd like to register for as well. So today we have Mary Klun from Douglas County Recycling presenting a webinar about Douglas County's Count Me Green program. So I'm actually going to transfer it over to Mary right now.
Oops, I just started pressing buttons funny. Good morning, everyone. As Jillian said, my name is Mary Klun. I am the recycling coordinator for the City of Superior and for Douglas County. And this morning I want to talk about a program that the two entities have been working on together called Count Me Green. Count Me Green is a program that started some years ago out of a discussion among the Douglas County recycling community about the fact that they noticed residents were doing a really great job of recycling, but as they drove past businesses, they didn't really see any indication that businesses were recycling as well as they should have. It is the state law in Wisconsin that all businesses and all right.
You're cutting out a little bit. Mary, could you start?
Residents develop a program that would be more of a carrot and would encourage and reward businesses for making friendly business decisions that will improve our environmental quality. So that is kind of the history behind Count Me Green.
You're cutting in and out.
Those of us who developed the program, okay, I'll try to get closer to the phone. Those of us who developed the program believe that Count Me Green is a very worthwhile program, even if you don't believe you have enough sustainable activities in your business to qualify. We believe going through the process is a wonderful thing for you to do. Number one, it provides you with a format to evaluate your sustainable activities right now as they exist. And it allows you to evaluate your operations against a standard that is pretty universal. And on top of that, it has, because the application has so many ideas in it, it gives businesses ideas of what they can do to improve their environmental impact and their sustainability, so they can work on them even if they don't eventually apply for Count Me Green status. And what you see here is the very first advertising piece that you see here. I was working with an instructor and a class in marketing at WITC when I first started doing this program, and I asked them to help me develop a program that would introduce Count Me Green to the community. And this was one of the ideas they came up with. We had this big billboard and we had a drawing, and the only way you could participate in the drawing was if you went to one of these certified Count Me Green locations. It was a way for us, A, to advertise the program, and B, to get people into these businesses and have them think about the fact that these businesses have gone through the effort of becoming certified. Ultimately, it's kind of interesting, it was a young man who entered at the dollars that he decided to put away. He wasn't sure if it was going to be for college or car when he graduated. But that was our very first advertising campaign. Now this is a campaign, it's our last one, it's currently going on. There's a billboard on the Belknap Street Viaduct, and you can see it's very simple. It just says, it has our logo on it, and it lists all of our current Count Me Green businesses. Again, our goal is the same. We just want to make people aware of the businesses that have gone through the effort of becoming a Count Me Green organization. The other thing we provide Count Me Green certified businesses is that listed on the Count Me Green website, countmegreen.org. And again, if you look at this, you'll recognize it from our first advertising campaign. It was designed by the WITC students. And it probably, right now, it's probably kind of a weak link in our advertising. Just, you know, it's software kinds of things. I have an upgraded computer and old software for updating my website. So my goal is to get some new software, and I will be redoing the website. And the fifth that the WITC students decided to add, what they called more punch to my Count Me Green logo, will probably disappear, simply because we had some of the Count Me Green businesses who found that this just reminded them of the Recall Walker logo, if you remember that, even though this is just pre-Walker. But we do have the website, and we do have all the businesses listed. This is what a page looks like on the website for a business, and you'll see I'm using WITC as an example, simply because they were our very first Count Me Green business. The web page tries to tell a little bit about the business. For example, here it talks about how many programs are at WITC. It talks about their Count Me Green business. In this case, it congratulates them for being the very first certified Count Me Green business. And I have some photographs, and I try to have photographs there. It makes the page more interesting. I'll ask the business to provide photographs with me, or if you have a website, I will simply go to your website and steal them from you. Down below here you can see the minimum points to be certified are 30, and WITC managed to come up with 57 points, which is very good. And every page contains a link to the business's website. Down here in the corner you can see where it says WITC. That is the link to the WITC website. So I try to have some interaction between our website and the business itself, so people can go right to the business if they choose to. We have some goals for the business that we talked about. This is the cover of the application, and the goals were important to us that we put them right on the cover. They're not grandiose goals, but they are very important to us. First of all, we wanted to certify and to especially recognize businesses that made a commitment to environmental sustainability. We wanted to provide a marketing strategy for businesses. We believe that this is a tool that businesses can use to say, look at what we are doing to improve our impact on the environment. This is a good reason for you to choose us versus another similar business. Oh, excuse me. It also, anything that any business does to participate in the Count Me Green does provide environmental improvements, so that was certainly one of our goals. Many of the activities or the things that you can do to become certified do provide cost-saving strategies for business, so we wanted to alert businesses to those strategies. And we wanted to increase participant awareness of sustainable business practices. And we're very broad in that goal. Participant awareness meaning the businesses, By going through the application, they will become much more aware of things they can be doing to be a more sustainable business. But we also wanted participants that use that business to become aware of the things that that business is doing to become a more responsible environmental business. So, that's kind of a background of why and how and what Count Me Green is. What I want to go on to next is, what does a business do to get certified as a Count Me Green business? And it's really not a difficult process, but it does one that takes some thought and some care. And again, you'll see I'm using Wisconsin Indian Head Technical College as an example, because since they were our very first Count Me Green, they had a little bit of a push to become sustainable that was a little external for them. The state technical college board decreed that every campus would have a green team. And that green team would look at ways that they could become more energy efficient and more green. And as I mentioned, I had been working with WITC students and WITC teacher to help develop the advertising campaign for the introduction of Count Me Green. And that teacher happened to be on the on the green team. So she said to them, hey, I've heard about this Count Me Green program the city and the county are doing. Let's look at that and see if it will work for us. And that is what they did. And I'm throwing this in here, it's a little out of place. But they used the Count Me Green program. They became certified, as you know. And this is what they have on their website. They talk about their Count Me Green experience. And so for them, Count Me Green was, one, a way to report back to their superiors that they had done their job, and they had done it so well that they became recognized by an entity and certified as a Count Me Green business. This is a direct quote from their webpage, so it's an example of how a business can use their Count Me Green certification as a way to market themselves. WITC, I'm going to read the one quote here from Charles Gladesman. Charlie, for those of you who know him, said, this award is given to local businesses who have demonstrated a commitment to energy conservation, energy efficiency, and sustainability. Our campus green team is leading the way toward these goals. So they're using that as a way to promote their business. What did they do to do it? Well, first off, they called me and asked me to mail them an application, and that's what I would have you do. You could call me, you can email me, and I would get an application to you. What I suggest that businesses do is sit down with the application first without any thought about completing it. Just go through it, look at it, see what it looks like, what it feels like, and make a list of questions. And then to call me with those questions, or call me and say, hey, can you come on over and talk to me about this? I really have some questions I would like to ask you. Finally, once you get to the point that you're ready to get started, appoint a person or a team, and I do recommend a team, to evaluate your baseline and to go through the application and mark down everything that you're already doing. You may be very surprised at some of the things you are already doing that do count as a Count Me Green sustainable activity. So do that, do your baseline. What are we doing already? And then after you do that, you should check out what I like to call the low-hanging fruit, things that would be very easy for you to incorporate. And you can see I've got some popping up on the side here. One of the requirements, not a requirement, but one of your options is to contact the Focus on Energy group. Have them come in and do an energy audit. It doesn't cost you anything. The application doesn't even say you have to use any of their recommendations. But if you have them come in, it's something you can check off. As I say, I call it low-hanging fruit. Another is to start using low VOC, that's volatile organic compound paint, whenever you do painting within your facility. The VOC paints, the high VOC paints, emit an odor and a smell and chemicals into the air that are not good for the environment. So by using the low VOC paint, you are making improvements in air quality. Another one thing that I call low-hanging fruit is make a commitment that whenever you replace an electronic appliance or computer or whatever, to make sure you use an Energy Star qualified one. You know, it reduces your energy costs in the long run. It's cost saving for you, and it's better for the environment. And finally, another low-hanging fruit that I often talk about is using compact fluorescent bulbs. They use much less energy than your regular incandescent bulbs, and they use much less mercury than a regular fluorescent bulb. So they're an excellent upgrade to your environmental footprint, so to say. Set a timeline that you want to do these low-hanging fruits. You know, you don't want to take forever to do it, but as you do that, start thinking and setting a secondary timeline for some of the things that make sense for your business but are going to take more time and more effort, so you can get the ball rolling as you are working on that low-hanging fruit. There's some other considerations that you should be aware of. There are 5 points that are mandatory. They are required. It doesn't matter how many points you get or what your points are. There are 5 mandatory points. Since I am the recycling coordinator for the city and the county, and since our goal originally was to increase recycling, 2 of those points come from one activity, and that's making sure that you have a recycling program in your business that recycles all of what we call the banned substances in the state of Wisconsin. They're banned from the landfills. So that's your plastics and your glass and your aluminum and your paper products. And so you have to have a program that recycles all of those things. And that may be above and beyond what you have currently for cardboard or whatever. The application booklet is divided into several sections, and each section is devoted to a particular type of sustainable activity. For example, there's one on water quality. And one of the things you could do on water quality, which is one of those low-hanging fruits, is to participate in a business that Jillian could tell you about if you ever give her a call, and it's called the Regional Stormwater Protection Team. And it's a partnership that meets, and they work to reduce the quantity, and to improve the quality of stormwater runoff. And you could visit the lakesuperiorstreams.org to find out about that one. In addition to that, each section has a blank spot in it. And that blank spot is because I know that there are activities that your business or your organization are doing that I haven't thought of. They may be industry specific, and so I want you to be able to get points for that, even though I haven't thought to include it in the application booklet. And finally, you do not have to have everything completed before you submit your application. I recognize that some of those things, like perhaps you're going to retrofit all your lighting, and it's going to take several, 6, 8 weeks, a couple months to get that completed. You don't have to wait all those months before you submit your application. Every activity listed in the application has a line that says, this will be completed by this date. If you already have it completed, you can just exit out. But if it's something you're working on and it will be completed in the future, please put a date there so that I know when it will be completed. I think the maximum timeout, I have 3 months here, but I think the maximum timeout is 6 months. If you're going to have it completed within 6 months, you can count it toward your application. Finally, I wanted to give you just a quick look at what the application might look like. This page I've chosen for a reason, and it's because way down here you can see it talks about the innovative best practice, but it also has some of what I like to think of as low-hanging fruit. In fact, I hope it's low-hanging fruit. Number 5 here, for example, says your fluorescent bulbs are properly recycled at the end of their useful life. I hope that there's nobody anymore putting them in the garbage. If you don't know, please know that they're full of mercury and they're very bad for our environment, so please make sure you're recycling them properly. And if you need help finding sources for that, you can give me a call. You can probably call the wastewater treatment program. There are lots of places where you can recycle your fluorescent bulbs. Your hazardous waste materials are properly identified and disposed of. Those are what I hope are low-hanging fruit. But again, I chose this page because it talks about the innovative best practice. It says 1 point will be awarded for each practice until further review. And I just say that because sometimes I award more than 1 point because that's such a big thing. And sometimes, I think it's only happened once, the activity really didn't have that much to do with sustainability. So I asked them to remove that from their application. And here is, where the blank spot is, where you would describe what that looks like. If it's something that you're working on, when it would complete it. Every section has a spot here for notes, and those notes are not for me. Those are for you. Maybe they'll say, Bob, check with maintenance to see what we're doing with our fluorescent bulbs. Then this is the start of the next section, and I just want to talk about that briefly because the start of every section gives you a simple explanation of why we feel this is important to our sustainability and to our environmental quality. And then it goes on to list the many activities. Energy efficiency is one that businesses probably would be most interested in because obviously energy efficiency is the one that's most likely to equate into dollars that you save for your business. Here is the focus on energy one that I had mentioned earlier as one of the low-hanging fruit. Exit signs are replaced with long-lasting, low-energy LED exit signs. All of those sorts of things are things that you can do to become certified. Another page, the book, in fact, this is early on in the book. It's the information that I need to see. What is the name of the business? How many employees do you have? And who is the contact person? Normally, this will be the person who's the leader of the team working on your certification. How can I get hold of that person? What's their email? What's their phone number? Does your business have a website? Because if it does, I would like to use that in any of our promotion. There's a place here for you to describe what your business or your organization does. And if you want to use more space than that, just put in a piece of paper because I will use that on the website to describe your business. And finally, this is the place where you will add up the points that you have in your Count Me Green application. How many points in each section, what's the total? You do need a minimum of 30 to apply. Your signature and the date that you completed it. Here's all my contact information so you can get hold of me. And down in the corner, in the left-hand corner, I have an acknowledgement to an organization called Travel Green Wisconsin. It's part of the Tourist Board for Wisconsin. And when I began scouring the website, looking for things to list in my Count Me Green program, I discovered Travel Green Wisconsin, and they have a program where they certify businesses in the tourist industry. So that they can market Wisconsin as a green state. And I contacted them and asked them if I could model my program. Forever grateful because they have a wonderful program. I mention it particularly because if you happen to be in any sort of travel tourist industry, if you have enough points to be certified as a Count Me Green business, you can go ahead and become certified by Travel Green Wisconsin by contacting them. I believe they have a small fee to become a member, but it's another marketing tool that your business can use if you're in that industry. Finally, again, as I said, you need 30 points before you can submit your application. I do recommend that you go through it before you turn it in. The last business that applied, as I was meeting with them, said, we've already found some things that we do since we send the application in, So, we missed a few things. So I suggest that you just go through and make sure you've got everything. Mail the application in to me, drop it off at the recycling office, whatever works best for you. And then what I will do is review the application. I'll look to make sure that you're doing that mandatory recycling. I might have a question about something, or maybe I'll notice an activity that I'm pretty sure you're doing, but I don't see it marked there, and I might give you a call to follow up. After I've reviewed it, I'm going to set up a time to come and visit you. And what I call it is a mini tour. I used to start out, when I first started the program, doing a pretty thorough tour of the business. And now I realize I don't need quite so much information. It's just really a time to sit down with the business owner, maybe you want to show me some things that you are very proud of in your business. I've had mandated recycling, that you're recycling your paper, your aluminum, your plastics. So that's the only mandated thing that I check up. Otherwise, I kind of leave it up to you to show me your business and to highlight what you're proud of. After all the hard work is done and we've determined that you are certified, you will be issued a Count Me Green Certificate of Excellence. This one is from our very last Count Me Green business, St. Mary's Hospital Superior. They've just been certified. Your certification will be signed by the mayor of Superior and the county board chair for the county, and it'll be framed. In addition to that, you'll get these stickers that look like this for your doors. And you can have as many of them as you want. It's a way to let anybody coming through your doors know that you are a certified green business. In addition, we'll work together to write a press release. Some businesses prefer to write their own, and I'm happy to let you write your own press release. And then I just add a few lines about the Count Me Green business. You'll get your page then for the website. And your certification lasts 3 years. The renewal process is painless. It just results in me sending out a note, an email, or making a phone call, and then saying, how are you guys doing? I'd like you to review what you've done. I usually send you a copy of the application you already submitted and say, are you still doing these things? Have you done some more? I just recently had a business review their certification, and they almost doubled the number of points that they had. So I'm going to be updating their web page with all of the hard work that they have done to recertify, so to speak. So that is the Count Me Green program pretty much in a nutshell. I've gone through it relatively quickly. This is my contact information. You can contact me by email. You can contact me by telephone. You can drop by my office and talk to me about it. I really would like to see businesses, at the very least, look at this application and see if there are some of the activities there that they can do to improve their environmental footprint. Even if you don't think you can do 30 points worth, get an application and see what you can do, because not only will you be improving the environment, but it's good for your business as well. So that, in a nutshell, is my presentation this morning. I'll turn this back over to Jillian. I do encourage you to contact me anytime to learn more about the Count Me Green activities here in Superior and Douglas County. Thanks for listening to me today.
Okay, I'm just going to take it back over to me for a second here. Just so we have just some closing information. All right, so again, this was a webinar presented from the Businesses Preventing Pollution webinar series. Our next webinar is October 30th, and it's Waste Management for the Auto Industry. Some other upcoming webinars that we have include composting food waste, universal waste rules for mercury, and rainwater harvesting. So if you're interested in any of those, again, you can visit our website at ci.superior.wi.us. And also just a note from Mary's presentation, she had mentioned fluorescent bulb recycling. You can always bring those over here to the wastewater treatment plant. We're open from 8 to 4:30 Monday through Friday. So thank you for attending, and again, this webinar will be archived on our website and on YouTube. So we'll end it there. Thank you.